Okay, let's unpack this concept of reality design. It sounds a bit like sci-fi, right?
A little bit, yeah, like we're entering the Matrix or something.
Exactly. But we have a stack of sources today that suggest you can, you know, fundamentally change your life's trajectory using this mix of philosophy, psychology, and some pretty weird metaphysics.
It's quite the mix. We're looking at The Daily Stoic by Ryan Holiday, Dan Koh's blueprint for total identity transformation, and a metaphysical cult classic called Reality Transurfing.
And maybe my favorite, this incredibly practical, almost intense operating manual called the Looper Greg 3.1,
Greg 3.1, it literally sounds like a software update for a human being.
which is kind of the point.
Yeah, that's it. So our mission is to connect these dots and answer one question. How do we actually take control? Not in a vague, wishful thinking kind of way, but by building a real operating system for your life.
Let's start with the philosophy. Usually when people talk about controlling reality, they mean controlling things out there, the traffic, the economy.
But the Stoics, specifically Epictetus, just shut that down immediately.
Right.
It's all about the discipline of perception. You have to draw a really hard line between what is up to you, your choices, your reactions, and what isn't.
So if your happiness depends on things you can't control, you're just setting yourself up for failure.
You're gambling. But here's where it gets interesting. We go from that Stoic acceptance to Vadim Zeland and reality transurfing, and he completely flips the script.
He says you can't control this moment, but you can choose the next one.
Exactly. He introduces this concept of the variance space.
Okay, that sounds incredibly sci-fi. Can we ground that? What is a variance space?
Think of it like a radio.
Yeah.
All the stations, jazz, rock, news, they're all broadcasting right now simultaneously. You aren't creating the music.
You're just tuning into a specific frequency.
You're just tuning in. Zeland argues reality is like that. It's an infinite archive of possible scripts. You don't fight the current script. You just tune into a different one.
So if I'm stuck on the misery station, I don't try to fix the song. I just change the channel.
Precisely. But here's the trap. You can't just tune in to a reality where you're a millionaire tomorrow if you're desperate for it.
Oh, right.
Zeland calls this excess potential. If you want something too much or you hate your current situation too intensely, you create resistance.
The trick is to want it, but without needing it.
Yes. And you have to avoid what he calls pendulums.
Pendulums. This was another term that felt really heavy. What are we talking about here?
Pendulums are just collective energy structures. Think of political arguments on social media or workplace drama.
Things that suck you in.
Exactly. They feed on your emotional energy. If you get angry at the news, you're feeding the pendulum. Zeland's advice is simple. Stop feeding it. Just observe it and walk on by.
That feels like the perfect bridge to Dan Koh. Because if you're going to tune into a new reality and ignore these pendulums, you can't really do it as your current self.
That's the identity first principle. Koh argues that most New Year's resolutions fail because they focus on action. I will go to the gym.
But their identity is still, I'm a lazy person trying to exercise.
Yes, you have to change the who before you change the what.
And he uses this concept I found really powerful, the anti-vision.
It's brilliant. We're always told to visualize success, but Koh says that's not enough. You need to visualize the absolute tragedy of not changing.
So you harness the disgust of staying the same.
It's premium fuel. Then, once you have that anti-vision and your new identity, you gamify it. A one-year goal is the mission. A one-month project is the boss fight.
And your daily habits are just quests.
Exactly.
Which brings us to Greg 3.1. This is where the rubber meets the road. This isn't a book. It's literally a guy's personal operating system.
It's extreme, but it proves the point. Greg doesn't wake up and ask, what do I feel like doing today? The decision is already made. He has a 5.55 reset.
I love this part. 5.55 a.m. 5 minutes of grounding, 5 breaths, 5 gratitudes.
And one specific question, what creates momentum? It's a boot sequence. He treats his biology like hardware so his mind can operate like software. He has rules like no eating after dark and specific digital mayor blocks for deep work.
It sounds so rigid, though. Doesn't that kill the whole flow or transurfing vibe we just talked about?
You'd think so, but it actually enables it. This is the paradox. Structure creates freedom. By automating all the basic decisions, he removes that excess potential of decision fatigue. He's not fighting his day. He's gliding through a system he already built.
So Greg is basically a Stoic transurfer in practice.
In a way, yes. He accepts what he can't control, he rejects the pendulums of distraction, and he acts from the identity of a high performer.
So what does this all mean for you listening? Whether it's avoiding metaphysical pendulums or waking up at 5:55 a.m., the common thread is just intentionality.
Absolutely. If you just drift, you end up in a script written by someone else, by society, by your habits, whatever.
And if reality is a mirror, like Sealand suggests,
Mm.
here's a thought to leave you with. What specific reality are you accidentally designing right now just by not choosing a script?
That's the question to sit with.
Thanks for diving deep with us. We'll see you next time.